outside her Marina de Gama home on Saturday. The police minister was set to meet with top Hawks detectives to discuss the details of the investigation into the magistrate's murder. And that's all at this hour. Let's bring back the anchors, Olive and Osage, for the rest of the show.
All that update. I mean, it's interesting to hear about local vaccine manufacturing here in Nigeria. That's something that, we should probably, I don't know do you think it's something we're ready for? Because for the longest time, there are lots of people who have clamored for the fact that we should look for homegrown problems or homegrown solutions for our own problems, as opposed to looking to the Western world and looking to, to the Western world, really. Do you think that we're ready for homegrown solutions?
I mean, who wouldn't want progress in the country? This is a giant step. I remember when the pandemic broke out, we were heavily dependent on the Western countries and especially China to send us vaccines. Talk about Johnson & Johnson's, the Pfizer vaccine, the COVAX vaccine. And it was a bit of a panic for a lot of people, although there were so many people who did not believe in the COVID-19. But now the discovery of new cases on a daily basis, this is really a giant step. Seeing how we want to invent our own vaccines, it just shows that you're moving towards growth, and then we're moving towards the betterment of a country. So I love it.
All right, interesting. Let's see how that eventually turns out. Hoping that Nigerians are ready to explore homegrown vaccines. That sounds very exciting. Thank you very much, Blessings. We look forward to seeing you again at 8 a.m.
Definitely.
Now we have the papers this morning. We're going to be looking through the front pages, and we'll be starting off here in Nigeria. Starting off this morning with First newspaper on the front page of First News, PDP crises, Ayu's fate hanging in the balance. As Makinde, Atiku disagree on demands, they're disagreeing on demands for party chairman's resignation. Ayu must step down to allow South replace him, be fully included, or your governor insists. We'll be looking into this much later. He can't go now unless PDP constitution is amended, says Atiku. This is a conversation we hope to explore much later this morning on Breakfast Central. Recruitment crisis, Police Commission Chair Smith resigns over clash with IGP. That's also another story we're looking into this morning. 23 trained victims still in captivity 186 days after abduction. JAMB demands financial autonomy, false UTME fee reduction. Road infrastructure tax credit scheme, one of federal government's greatest innovations according to FIR's boss. And woman robs bank to pay sister's cancer treatment. Oh, wow. Staff setting unreasonable target for staff, CIBN tells banks. And at the top of the paper, our final story this morning, Buhari will present 19.76 trillion naira 2023 budget in October. And this is according to Bajabi Amila. That's all we can take this morning on the First News.
All right, let's go to the Nation newspaper, still here in Nigeria. The big one there says Makinde leads Southwest PDP on Ayu-Must-go. The big question I think a lot of people would be asking at this point is how vital is, Iyorchia Ayu's resignation to the PDP's chances of winning the election, because I think that's what they should be most passionate about. I understand that they have some aggrieved members, some week of River State. There was also a little bit of confusion. You've of course seen Seyi Makinde with Nyesom Wike about a week ago, and then seeing pictures with Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
And understanding that, of course, it's still one big party that they're still together somehow, somewhere on a goal. But
at the end of the day, still the underlying theme. Still the underlying concerns. Iyorchia Ayu must step down.
But yes, I get that. But what I'm asking you, and what a lot of people would be wondering, is how vital is his stepping down to their victory? Because really, it's just Nyesom Wike who is championing this. Ayu must step down.
Well, not necessarily just him. I think it's more of now it's the South feeling like they're not included. Yeah. The Southwest governors feeling like the chairman, the PDP chairman, is from the North. The PDP vice chairman is from the North. The PDP presidential candidate is from the North. So if you're going to talk about balance, at least the South has to be, a part of it. So I think the importance of Iyorchia Ayu maybe stepping down might be to ensure that the party is on a united front. Because
Yeah.
if they are not united, a party that is united, that is not united in itself, cannot even stand.
Finds
They're
it
not
harder.
going to be ready for the elections if they don't sort out their internal crisis.
Oh.
And, you know, we're just going to see how the PDP eventually manages this.
Yeah, and of course, we'll be here to report and share with you, further updates on this one. But that's what it says for now. Also, on The Nation this morning, let's share other stories. Buhari to present budget to National Assembly next month. Everyone's excited to see those figures and see how much money we may need to borrow to fund that budget.
Wow.
Oyetola Adeleke Bika over report of overvoting. Buyers of seized Lagos properties to pay 2001 price. You can also find here on the Nation newspapers this morning, 2 scientific works win a $100,000 NLNG prize, and police kill 5 kidnapped suspects. Those are the stories on the Nation newspapers this morning.
All right, now let's head over to South Africa, looking at the Sowetan. On the front page of the Sowetan, will finger point at Senzo's killer. We've been talking about the story for a while now. Senzo Meyiwa, slain Bafana captain's friend, tells trial that the man who pulled the trigger the day of the murder was in the courtroom. Now the question is, judge to decide whether states should allow witness to point out who among the accused gunned down Meyiwa. On page 2. This is an interesting twist. It'd be nice to have a lawyer from South Africa to sort of run us through what the judicial process in South Africa is, because just saying I know who killed the person cannot fly in court. There are rules and there are procedures. So now they're trying to decide if the judge should allow the witness point out who he thinks the killer is. And we'll of course be following up with that story. At the top of the paper, Treasury balks at cost of Pali repairs on page 7. Concourt will decide Busi's fate. Ramaphosa joins appeal against Protector on page 4. Relentless Sundowns seek perfection. We can do better than last season. Details of that on back page. And of course, trust the Sowetan to always promote one artist or the other. Moonchild, an African child who dared to dream. That's all we can take this morning on the Sowetan. Let's head over to Tanzania.
Let's see what the Citizen newspapers has for us. It says their efforts to unlock private capital to get new impetus. Following renewed efforts to promote investment in Tanzania, the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency pledged yesterday to expand its commitment to the government and investors to unlock private capital. Read more on that on page 2. And also, ground handlers ordered to quit new Z-Bar Airport Terminal by the 1st of December. It also says here, new envoy to Indonesia presents credentials. Optimism as government meets with mobile operators over levies. And I think also this morning, human traffickers to face tougher penalties. That's on page 3 of the Citizen newspapers this morning. Top of the screen there, national legislation. Why amendment of disaster law was inevitable. That's on page 4. And technology. Africa's adoption of 5G tech gathers pace. That's on page 11 of the Citizen newspapers this morning. And of course, in a little bit of sports, Simba regained top spot with a away win in Mbeya on page 20.
What of Mufasa?
His head.